Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Can you imagine failing out of nursing school? Stay tuned to our next guest. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitator of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers around the world, creating generational wealth and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals, to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to hit the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Dr. Sherry Smith. Dr. Sherry Smith is a nationally board certified school nurse, a 200-hour registered yoga teacher, and a budding entrepreneur. Dr. Smith has a strong passion and desire to help others reach their health and wellness goals. Dr. Smith received her associate degree in nursing in 2002 from Edgecombe Community College and her bachelor's degree from Winston-Salem State University in 2014. Dr. Smith then went on to obtain her master's degree in nursing education from Barton College in 2018, and most recently earned her doctorate of nursing practice in 2020 from Gardner-Webb University. Additionally, Dr. Smith serves on boards in her community, including Twin Counties Partnership for Healthier Communities and My Sister's House, a nonprofit organization that assists those impacted by domestic violence. So thank you for coming in. I love it. I love it. Sherry and I have been friends for a little while now.
Yeah, yeah.
So now tell me, what was your primary reasoning for becoming a nurse?
I became a nurse because essentially I wanted to help people. When I was in high school, your parents are going through and they're kind of, guiding you in the right direction, trying to help you figure out what you want to do. And, my mother was asking me what I wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, I think I want to be a dental hygienist. And she was like, oh, okay. So you want to go into the medical field. Okay. So in high school, I guess she didn't see, dental assistant or dental hygienist in my future. So in high school, I, signed up to take the allied health science classes and joined HOSA and realized that nursing and, that field was something that I enjoyed doing. It was fun. We went to the nursing homes and learned how to take blood pressures and give baths and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not so bad. I think I can do this. And it came from there.
One of the things that when I go to, like when I used to go to nursing homes, like I didn't really like them. And I think that I couldn't, relate as much when I was younger. Right. But
Right.
as I've gotten older, like I love those little old people. I mean, literally they, the stories that they tell are
Yes.
so hilarious.
Yeah. They're hilarious. And they're so full of wisdom as well.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and just that old school, you will never change wisdom, right? Because some things, like the technology of today changes, but that wisdom that they give you is wisdom that spans across time. So
Exactly.
it is amazing, amazing. Now, when we first talked, you said that you failed nursing school. Now, what point in nursing school did you fail forward? Because that is what you did. And what are some of the things in hindsight were the reasons for struggling in nursing school at that time?
So I failed nursing school. I was in my third semester. It was the summer semester. I started nursing school when I was 17 years old. So I went directly from high school straight into the nursing program. I had taken most of my prerequisites while I was still in high school. And yeah, I treated nursing school like I treated high school. Like I was that student in high school that didn't have to study for any test. And if I did study, I studied the night before. So take that to nursing school, and that's what I did. I was studying for 3 to 5 chapter tests the night before the test. And that worked for, a couple of semesters. And that third semester, it wasn't working anymore. On top of that, that was back in 1999 when I first started nursing school. So of course we also had, the flood that came during that time. And my family was impacted. We lost everything except for my nursing books. They were put way, way, way on top of one of the closets. And that was literally the only thing that I was able to retrieve from the house were my
maybe that was a sign.
It was a sign. It was a sign. Yeah. So I didn't know how to study for nursing school. I had no clue. High school didn't really prepare me for what I was getting myself into. And then on top of that, I was dating a young man, and we were going out all the time. We were going out to dinner. We were going to concert. We would go to concerts, and then I'd get up and go to clinical the next morning in Raleigh. So my priorities also were not in order. So my priorities weren't in order, and I had no clue, how I was supposed to be studying for nursing school, not waiting until the last minute.
One of the things that I'm not sure whether I waited till the last minute because, I went through to my LPN and then could not go any further. I'm not sure I waited till the last minute, but one of the things that I did do for sure was that I thought, as you did, I thought that I could study in the same way in nursing school that I did in high school, and that is not. And I didn't know what type of learner I was. And that's something that people have to explore. Some people are auditory learners, but that's only about 7% of the population, right? They retain it if they hear it. And then there is the visual learner, right? And people, I retain a little bit visually, but I'm a kinesthetic learner to the core of who I am. If I do it, I got it, right?
Right.
But I just didn't know that. And of course, you can't do as much. I mean, you have very limited clinical experience, while you're in school. And so the reality is that you have more of those tests. And of course, those tests are, I have I have one of my clients, actually, she breaks down the question. And she told me this last night. She said she breaks down the question to the stem of the question to help you to understand how to pass the NCLEX. And I was like, okay.
You probably could have used that back then.
Sorry. I was like, I didn't even know that was the thing.
Okay. Yeah, I probably could have used that back then. One that I needed to rewrite all of my notes. Like I would literally go through and rewrite every note that I had taken in class and then go back through and study. And study groups did not work for me. I did not need a group of people giving all of their opinions on what the right answer was. I was like, nope, I need to do this, on my own.
And I did it for just to come together, right? And I thought that would help, but reality, hindsight 2020, that didn't really help me at all. If at all. Now you have become vegan in the time that we have known each other. What was your primary reasoning for becoming vegan?
Primarily for health reasons. And so now I don't truly consider myself vegan. I consider myself more plant-based. Okay. Because I have incorporated some meats, well, mostly just chicken and salmon into my diet when I do have it, but mostly primarily for health reasons. Back in, I think that was 2017, I was doing this 10-day smoothie cleanse because I wanted to lose weight. And it was fruit and veggie smoothies. And I ended up watching the documentary, What the Health, while I was doing this smoothie cleanse. And I was like, they're making some really good points here about, your health and, eating all the meats and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm only eating fruits and vegetables now through these smoothies, with the exception of, I think you could have like tuna and eggs. I was like, well, I'll just knock out the tuna and eggs and do this vegan thing. So I knew that I needed to do something for my health. Heart disease and diabetes runs in my family. Like my mother was diagnosed with heart failure at the age of 35. Wow. So I knew that I needed to, make the appropriate lifestyle changes to ensure that, it lessens my chances of, having those diseases.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, if you're in the audience and you have made some health changes via your diet, go ahead and drop it in the chat because we want to see some of the things that people have, the changes that you have made as it relates to your diet, because diet is number one, is 80% of it.
Mhm.
Exercise is 20% of it. And although I'm an avid exerciser, I'm firm believer that diet is huge, huge as well. Now, you have since went on to receive the highest degree in nursing.
I did.
What was your primary reasoning for embarking on such a journey?
Wow, I don't think I knew I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into,
Me neither.
but I knew that I know that I want to do more. Currently I am a school nurse, and it's a very rewarding career. It provides a lot of autonomy and flexibility, with my daughter. I have a 16-year-old. But I embarked on this journey because I want to be able to educate people, and I want to take on leadership roles, and I wanted to make sure I had the credentials when that time came for me. I didn't
Yeah,
want not having the credentials to be the reason why, I didn't get whatever position.
that's right. Preparation meets opportunity, right? I
That's
love it.
correct.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to as well. But like you said, I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. And when I got there, I was like, we got to do what? We got to write a book? I mean, a 5-chapter something? No, well, no, I don't, this is not right. But I mean, it's just one day at a time. You keep
Yes.
trudging through, and that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at it as one step at the time. And as you said, you have to be very, very, you have to make sure that you are dedicating yourself to it, right?
Yes.
That dedication is what will get you through it. And so you want to make sure that you are doing that. So someone said, and I don't know who it is because I can't see your name, but someone said, "Yay, school nurse, go public health nursing."
Yes.
I
Yes.
love
Public
it.
health nursing during the time of COVID is something. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It is definitely interesting. Now, what are some of the lessons that you learned in the journey to get your doctorate, and some of the things that you would tell a person that is starting the journey in nursing?
Those just starting the journey in nursing, I would tell them to keep pushing, to stay encouraged, um, be open to taking information from leadership. When I was still working in the hospital setting, I would see new nurses come in and they seemed like they just knew it all. And truly, experience is your best teacher. And that's why those preceptors, are there for you. So I would encourage anyone just starting out to continue to stay encouraged. You will make mistakes. Hopefully they are not, deadly mistakes,
Mhm.
as some mistakes can be. Um, when I first started my preceptorship, when I first became a nurse, I had a bad preceptor experience and ended up in the chief nursing officer's office. Like that's how bad the situation became. And I was like, I don't know about this nursing thing. I'm not gonna do this. This is not for me. I was like, I like chemistry. Maybe I need to go and be like a pharmacologist or something.
Now,
This
this was your first time in nursing?
Yes, yes. Like one of my very first preceptorships when I started working at the hospital ended up in the chief nursing officer's office. Yes, ma'am.
So now, can you elaborate? Can you tell us some of the things that made it the worst experience? Because I think that's valuable.
Um, there was a miscommunication between myself and the preceptor. And she had given an assignment and it was like, okay, you have these patients, I have these. It was night shift. And there was a patient who did not receive care the entire shift.
Wow.
Now, again, after that experience, I went on to become a preceptor. And of course, whether you assign something to, a nurse or not, you still check behind the person. So obviously, no one checked, no one checked behind me, and the patient again did not receive care.
Yeah, ultimately, it is the preceptor's responsibility to ensure that that care is being given for sure. And
Right.
one of the things that I just heard, because I was just on Clubhouse, and one of the things that I just heard was that, writing it down. Now, I never had this issue. I mean, we only had, four patients to the max whenever we were in the emergency department. And of course, I made sure that all four patients were taken care of, but that ultimately that was her responsibility. So I get you. I completely, honestly get you for real. Now, you have recently become an entrepreneur. Tell us about your business and what do you do for your clients?
So I'm still in the building phases of the business, but ultimately, um, I'll focus on holistic care,
Hmm.
helping people reach their health and wellness goals through a holistic approach. Because of course, you have to look at the whole person. It's not just the physical aspect or the mental aspect. Everything has to come together. So there'll be an initial consultation, and we'll sit down and talk about goals and time frame and just where they want to be, and come up with an approach of how to help them reach their goals. And then of course there'll be check-ins along the way, that accountability piece to make sure that the goals are being reached in a timely manner.
I love it. I love it because we all need that, especially during this time. To make sure that our health and wellness is on point, right?
Yeah.
Is a huge of huge importance. Now, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received as it relates to life and business?
Oh, adapt, adjust, and overcome. um yeah. And if there's nothing else that we've learned from the pandemic that we're living in, is that you have to learn to adjust, adapt, and overcome. Adjust to the current situation, adapt and figure out how you're going to overcome, the things that you're going through.
And
Most,
I think that some people what they do is they shut it down, right? They just okay, this is the roadblock I've hit, and then they just don't go any further. You can't do
right,
that, right? If you're gonna succeed, you're gonna get to those corners. And then Tony Robbins tells this story about when he was in this country, okay, and he was doing this talk, and some guy came up and he had invited people back the next day for this particular event that he was having. He invited them back, and so they had to pay to come back, right? And so he invited them back to that particular venue, and the guys came the I don't know who government official came to the venue and said, you don't have a permit to sell in this country. And so if you don't have this permit to sell in this country, then, we're going to shut you down and we're going to arrest you if you try to sell, from this country. So he was like, well, okay, any further. So he was like, okay. And so what he did was the next morning, he was like 150, 140 miles from the next country, right? Where he could sell in. And so he got on a bunch of buses. He said it was like 400 people. He said he got a bunch of buses. He put those 400 people on those buses and he traveled to that country so that he could still deliver what he needed to deliver,
right,
right? And
right,
that's an extreme example, but the reality is that we hit these roadblocks and we're just like, and people will just shut it down and then just like, well, this is what happened to me. You're gonna fail sometime in business. It just is what it is.
right.
And you're gonna fail sometimes in nursing, right? So there's some of course you don't want to do that no more than you have to, but there are gonna be some instances where you're not gonna do everything exactly right, right? But you
Exactly.
want to make sure that you fail forward, that you learn from those experiences and that you move from there. So yes, I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
So now, what are some books that you would recommend for nurses that has changed your life?
Well, I've been in school consistently since like 2014. So,
No
so,
books.
so I haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of pleasure, a lot of pleasure reading. I'm currently reading a book. It's non related to nursing, but it's a book called "The Body Keeps the Score," and it's related to how traumatic stress and traumatic experiences truly affect us and actually change like our brain waves and brain patterns. And it basically tells you that mindful practices such as yoga and mindful breathing can help to like realign those brain patterns that have been changed due to the trauma and the stress. So it's been very, very interesting to listen to because I'm listening to it on an audiobook.
I love it. I love it. Someone said amen. So now, if in the audience, if you have a book that has changed your life, whether it be in nursing or whether it be in life, just drop that book, because it's important for us to know what those books are, right? We want to know what those books are that has helped, because there's a lot of books that are out there, but we want to make sure that we have those books, and we know what has helped you. So social media has many influences. Who are some of the influences that you have followed that has helped you?
So social media influencers, I'm not big on like a lot of big name people or anything like that. For me, it's people like you or people like me, just the normal everyday people that have a story to tell, or they're striving towards something. Those are the type people that I follow. So I mean, it's not like I don't have any big name people who say, people are like, oh yeah, I follow, Dr. such and such, or pastor this person, or it's no one like that for me. For me, it's the everyday mom striving forward, or the person trying to build a business, or just people like that.
I
Really,
got
you know,
that help you. That's for
yeah.
sure. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Now, where can someone find your services if they wanted to find you?
www.wellnessreallymatters.com.
Ah, I love that name. Wellness really matters.
It really matters.
I love it. I love it. And so if they wanted, so you do yoga, is there any?
I do yoga at Willow Tree Yoga Studio in Rocky Mount.
Okay.
Um, I teach classes on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. So if you are local and you are in the area, please feel free to come and check out a class. They are very good and life-changing. Yoga truly does help to relax you. Yoga means unity. So, it's the uniting of your body, your mind, and your spirit. So it's
Okay.
really good practice.
So now what can they get whenever they go to your website?
Right now, it is currently, blog and information related to wellness, and I'll soon be adding the information where we can book consultations.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm super excited. We're all just branching out.
Right, yeah. I mean, and it's important to do what you're passionate about, and also to find ways to monetize the things that you're passionate about so that you can have those multiple, streams of income, because that's important. You never know what can happen with, your main source of income.
Yeah. So someone said that they need to come because they have pelvic floor pain.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you for showing up, Dr. Smith.
You're
we
welcome,
we
Dr.
now get to
Pierce.
call you. All of us are rising in this world. So my name is Dr. Viola Pierce, owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, and the facilitators of Secret Supplements Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know working from their computers around the world, creating generational wealth and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders such as Dr. Smith that have overcome, so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were told that you would not succeed. And remember to hit the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income. Enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day.